Hello guys! Once again, this is Pinay Supermom and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I am going to share with you some important facts about online safety and provide you with 10 cyber wellness tips for parents and kids. Cyber exposure of our kids is truly inevitable, especially now that almost all interactions and transactions happen online. The internet can provide hours of fun and be a great resource not only for kids, but for the entire family. Now that kids are having online classes, they can do their learning online from homework and project research to communicating with their classmates and teachers via synchronous and asynchronous sessions. Come playtime, there are plenty of educational and entertaining shows on the internet for kids to watch, or they can play interactive games online with friends and family. Truly, the internet can offer wonderfully supportive online communities that encourage exposure to unique ideas and perspectives. These also make it imperative to sensitize our kids to cyber wellness. However, there is also a dark side to online access, and it comes with risks such as cyberbullying on social media, inappropriate content, and predators who tap on websites and applications children use and pretend to befriend them. Often, children may not think twice before sharing their phone number, addresses, photos, or other personal information, and this makes child identity theft a big cybersecurity threat for families. There is a study show that 45% of kids or teens surveyed check their social media constantly, where they spend between 35 to 45 hours weekly on their digital devices. It is all the more important for us as a parent to know our children's online activity, what and how much they share online, and who they interact with. But how do we start to ensure internet safety for our kids? So, here are some useful cyber wellness tips to help you and your family. The major role of parents is to know the prevailing cybersecurity threats. And what are these security threats? Number 1. Cyberbullying on social media. The innocence of our children and their trusting nature makes them vulnerable to risk having access to the internet and social media. And because of these reasons, that they become an easy target for cyberbullying. Online bullies tend to be daring in their tactics as they cannot be seen. Cyberbullying can range from obvious acts such as mean or cruel comments on social media platforms to those that are little more difficult to detect, such as online predators impersonating someone else to get information out of children with the intention to hurt or embarrass. Cyberbullying is likely far more rampant than what is reported, and as a parent, you want to protect your family when they go online. Threat number 2. Child identity theft and loss of privacy online. Despite the fact that the minimum age to open an account of social media sites such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, and Snapchat is 13, there is a growing number of children under the age of 13 using such social network with or without their parents' knowledge of consent. Child identity theft is another serious matter. Children do not understand identity theft and may not be aware of the full extent of their online activities, so they may be persuaded to divulge personal information and pictures with fraudsters who may pose as a trusted friend online. Their constant social media updates can also tip off predators on their movements, alerting them of their current location and activity. They also may click on the phishing emails that could result in their accounts being compromised and personal information being accessed. They are more likely to use simple passwords that are easy to guess and use the same one for multiple sites, which make their accounts vulnerable. As children, they may also have a higher chance of misplacing or losing their belongings a lot more, including their mobile phones where all their personal data is stored. Furthermore, there is a growing trend of parents setting up and running social media accounts for their children, citing reasons such as using it as a portable photo album, as well as something that documents the important moments and milestones of their children's childhood. Such accounts risk compromising an online privacy and exposing their children to strangers that may have unsafe intentions. And so now that we know the two major threats fronting our children, let me now share with you 10 tips on what parents can do to safeguard the cyber wellness of our kids. Tip number 1. Monitor what your kids are accessing and set limits on your children's online activity. After your children grow up and start exploring the world, you will establish rules and parameters on what they can and cannot do. These same boundaries should also be applied to online interactions. Know what your child is accessing and how many times are they spending there. This way, you will be familiar on what they are watching and you will be able to manage their screening time. You can also establish rules beforehand about how long your child can spend online each day. For example, in exchange of certain number of screen time, they can do one physical activity. Have a heart-to-heart talk with your child about why you need to be strict about enforcing limits on their online activity. Explain to them that the reason why you are setting boundaries is because you care and don't want them to be in danger. This way, your children will likely cooperate. Tip number 2. Talk with your kids about internet safety. As parents, we really need to spend time in talking to our kids and tell them the importance of being safe online. You can use news items and stories that are relatable to your children. Here's the thing. There are some sensitive topics that needs to be discussed on face-to-face. Issues like pornography, cyberbullying, suicide, or cybercrime should be tackled with them. At this point, our only choice is either they will learn from your explanation or they will learn it elsewhere. Of course, it depends on how you will deliver it to your children. Remember, it is you who knows your kids the most, thus knows the best approach possible. If they are discussing this with an open and honest way, chances are they will be less likely to turn to the web to get answers on their questions on relationships, sexuality, and other online threats. Tip number 3. Keep updated on the latest social media trends and platforms that your kid likes to use. Similarly, with tip number 1, it is important that you keep yourself up to date on social media platforms and applications your kids are currently using. You need to be equipped with the right and updated skills and knowledge in order for you to police them. You may want to play their games or watch with them sometimes to let them feel that you are also a cool mom or a cool dad, and this way, you are indirectly telling them that you know what's in the internet, so they have to be watchful and cautious when they are online. Tip number 4. Speak to them about privacy settings, personal information, and online purchases. As what I've said earlier, online is inevitable. That's why it is very important to equip your kids with knowledge to combat possible threats. Remember, we cannot be there all the time for them, so we have to keep reminding them and start teaching them what information to consider private, such as their identification cards, home addresses, and telephone numbers, and what can be posted publicly. This would allow your children to learn the differences between what information is safe to be shared online and will guide them in their daily online interactions. Tip number 5. Remind them to be kind, respectful, and responsible online. Let's face the truth, all of our kids has the tendency to be bullied or to be a bully. So with this premise, we should all the time remind our kids of the basic values taught by our parents: respect and sense of responsibility. Kids online tend to be braver in speaking their thoughts because they cannot be seen. Also, they can hide their identities, which allow them to act freely with anonymity. This gives them a free rein to say anything or things that may be disrespectful or mean. Always remind your kids to be kind and compassionate to others and show them how to become a responsible internet user. Tip number 6. Observe your child's behavior during or after engaging in social media. Best way to know if your children are using gadgets in their advantage is to observe their behaviors. Be vigilant and use your parental instinct and look out for the early warning signs such as changes in behavior, sleeping, or eating patterns. Make sure that you don't ignore the signs and must do something about it. Tip number 7. Positive digital footprint. A positive digital footprint is the footprint we leave behind when we post or share content online. Tell your kids to think before they click. Educate them that everything that they write or share in social media are fully traceable and can be accessed by other people, even people that they do not know. That is why it is very important that they should be careful in making statements or posting something online. Kids don't realize that something that they write or post online can be up there forever. So it is very essential that they are prudent about the type of content they are putting up. Tip number 8. Show that you trust them. Establish an environment of non-judgment and trust in your home. Speak to your kids about the importance of being safe and accessing content that is appropriate. Allow them to explore the digital world in the safe environs of your home. Tip number 9. Set rules in terms of internet usage and access. It is important that we verbalize to them certain regulations. This is to make them have a second thought every time they attempt to do something beyond their boundaries. And finally, tip number 10. Downloading content from the internet. We should always remind our kids to be aware of the possible implications of downloading content such as movies or music illegally. Speak to them about accessing this content in safe and secure ways. The internet has undoubtedly changed our lives for the better. However, the exposure and engagement with the internet also brings possibility of danger. As a parent, we should always be there to ensure your kids' wellness, which includes internet safety. Once the right safeguards and boundaries are in place, you and your family can enjoy all the wonderful things the online world offers. To connect in all aspects is the key. I hope you like this video, guys. Please do like and share it, leave your comments below, and hit the notification bell for my upcoming videos. Once again, this is Pinay Super Mom. Till next time, guys. Bye!
Wait lang.